HOA took over my inherited 200 acres. They didn't expect my legal move. Hook. First 10 seconds. I inherited 200 acres of land from my grandfather. What I didn't inherit? An HOA that was already acting like it owned everything. And trust me, they picked the wrong landowner. When my grandfather passed away, he left me something most people only dream about. On 200 acres of rural property. Woodland, open fields, old access roads, quiet, peaceful, valuable. Or at least, it should have been. I flew out to see the land for the first time, thinking it would be a simple walkthrough. Instead, I was greeted by gated roads, HOA signs, and mailboxes that absolutely did not belong there. That's when I noticed it. A full-blown housing development, sitting right in the middle of my inherited land. I assumed there had been some mistake, so I stopped my truck and took photos. That's when a white SUV pulled up. Out steps a woman wearing sunglasses, clipboard in hand, and that tone in her voice. "Sir, this is private HOA property. You need to leave immediately." I calmly told her, "Actually, I'm the owner." She laughed. Not a nervous laugh, a confident, mocking laugh. She said, "You don't own anything here. This land belongs to the HOA. You're trespassing." That's when she pointed at a sign that read, "Community Name Homeowners Association. No unauthorized access." I asked her for documentation. She refused. Instead, she called security, and then she called the police. When the officer arrived, I showed him my deed, tax records, and survey maps. His expression changed instantly. Turns out the HOA had been collecting dues, issuing fines and enforcing rules on land they never legally owned. The officer didn't arrest anyone, but he did tell me something I'll never forget. "Sir, you're going to want a lawyer." And that's when I realized this wasn't a misunderstanding. The next morning, I hired a real estate attorney. Not just any attorney, one who specialized in land disputes and HOA overreach. After reviewing the records, he leaned back and said, "They never owned this land. Not even close." Turns out, decades ago, the HOA purchased a small adjacent parcel, but over time they quietly expanded. They fenced it, built roads, sold homes, collected dues, all without owning the land. In legal terms, that's called illegal occupation. We sent a certified letter demanding immediate cessation of HOA authority, proof of ownership, eviction of all HOA-controlled assets on my land. They responded with threats. They claimed implied ownership, community rights, adverse possession. My lawyer smiled. None of it applied. So we filed an injunction. That's when panic hit the HOA board. Residents started questioning leadership. Property values froze. Sales collapsed overnight. And then I got an email from the HOA president. She wrote, "You're destroying our community." I replied with one sentence. "You built it on land you didn't own." The court ordered a temporary halt on HOA enforcement. No fines, no dues, no authority. Residents were furious, but not at me, at the HOA. And that's when the real chaos began. 2 months later, we went to court. The HOA showed up with binders. I showed up with facts. The judge reviewed the surveys, deeds, satellite images, and tax history. Then he said, "This land has always belonged to the plaintiff." The ruling was brutal. The HOA lost all authority over my land, any claim to collected dues, any enforcement rights. They were ordered to dissolve operations on my property. Residents were given 2 choices. Purchase the land legally, vacate within a set timeline. I didn't gloat. I didn't yell. I just watched the HOA board realize they had built an empire on stolen ground. Today, that HOA no longer exists. And my land? Protected, surveyed, secured. Let this be a warning. Just because an HOA acts powerful doesn't mean they are. Sometimes all it takes is one owner who reads the fine print.